Hey, we're live. What's going on, everybody? I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to join, and I'm going to sit here and drink a little whiskey. I don't know if you can see this or not, but this is my favorite whiskey glass. Let's see. Can you read that? That's a gift that my wife gave me for right before she was my wife. This was our wedding. It was her wedding present to me, and so I love it. Still happily married after like a year and 3 months. They said we'd never last, but look at us making it. It's like a Shania Twain song. Is it Shania Twain? I don't remember if it's her or not. But anyway, hi, Troy Duran here. Hey, look, there's Brooklyn. Hi. I want to I want to chat with people. I know that we're going to do the the live launch of production on this wonderful book by D.L. Lane. It's called All I Ever Needed, and it's Cooper's story, and it's pretty cool. I've done a little pre-reading, but not a whole lot. Um, and It's a great story. I think it's really cool. Like this whole series of D.L. Lane's is centered on Cedar Point, and the let me see. Let me share my screen here so you can see this beautiful cover. Uh, isn't that beautiful? I actually have that as my desktop, not intentionally, but it looks so good. I was trying to figure out how to add the how to do all the stuff so that I've got the it looks better when my face is smaller. I was trying to figure out, okay, so how do I show the screen so I can show the script while I'm reading along, and how do I show the cover? And as I was looking at I accidentally made the cover my screen, the wallpaper, the screen wallpaper, and I liked it so much that I just kind of left it there. So DL, I'm a big fan of yours. Every morning when I look at my blank screen before I start opening up programs. Alan, my brother, what's up? You're drinking whiskey with me, right? Alan Atkinson, an old friend of mine from way back when. We were so I grew up. I was born and raised in Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is in the desert Southwest, and worked in radio. I worked in radio about 25 years, but that was like the early years of my radio career. I was probably about 5-10 years in, and Alan and I got a chance to work together, and he's a great guy, very cool, and we caused trouble on Facebook together. So cheers to you, Alan. Julie, hello, Julie. We all know Julie. She's like the coolest fan ever. I'm sorry, if you want to be the coolest fan ever, you got to go through Julie first, because she's about as cool a cool a listener as you can ever imagine. And then there's DL. She is so cool. I love reading DL's words because I don't know. I mean, I don't know much about what is that saying? I don't know art, but I know what I like. I don't know much about what makes a great book or a great story or a great wordsmith, but I do know what I love when I read it. And the words that DL puts down on that page are, she's very descriptive. She's not overly wordy. She gets the emotions across. It's just so easy to drop into the characters that that DL writes. So I really enjoy reading the stories. So DL, I have a question to ask you, and I'm wanting you to help me to choose as we go through the maybe, I don't know, maybe the first chapter of this book. So in this story, All I Ever Needed, we have the prologue, and the beginning of the prologue is it's the Navy SEAL creed, and that takes up the first half of the prologue, and then the second half of the prologue is Cooper and a doctor. Cookie. Hi, Cookie. I like Cookie. She's cool. There's Lynn Street, and she didn't get her coffee first, but if she gets whiskey, I think that's okay too, or your beverage of choice. If you're a wine drinker, you're free to drink wine. But I told my wife when I was getting ready to do this, I said, "Oh yeah, I've got to get my whiskey," and she said, "You know what? You that's just an excuse to you just drink whiskey all the time." But this is like it's a business write off now because it's like it's my thing. Whenever I do a live, I'm drinking whiskey. So anyway, so my question to you, DL, is what do you want me to start with? We've got the prologue, which kind of sets the scene for the book. We have chapter 1, which is Lynn. All right, well maybe Lynn will be a good person to help with this as well. So there's the prologue, which is it kind of sets the scene, and then there's chapter 1, and that takes us back um, a decade or so, maybe 2 decades. Maybe a decade and a half. I'm not sure, but anyway, it takes us back to when Cooper was a kid, and then we have chapter 2, and that is closer to now time, right? So what I'm curious about, DL, is what chapter do you want me to start with? Do you want me to start from the very beginning, or would you like me to start off with a scene that just starts as Cooper as an adult? So I'm just going to sit here and drink my whiskey. Wait for people to let me know. Oh, by the way, I think that let me see if I think that there's a banner that explains what you need to do if you want us to see your profile name, because you have to give StreamYard permission. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So to comment with your name and profile pic, visit StreamYard.com/Facebook. And that way you can give them permission to use your profile and your name, which I think is pretty cool. They don't want to do anything without your permission first. So I think that's good on you, StreamYard. So if you want us to see your name and your profile pic, then go ahead and go to that StreamYard.com/Facebook and give them permission to use that. Okay. So let's see where's that other? Oh, there we go. So we'll go back to chat me up in the comments, and then I guess I'll just leave that little scrolly thing there so that way you can see both. All right. So back to comments. Okay. So DL says, okay. So DL says the prologue might be good, but chapter 1 will be great as well. So, all right. Well, let's go ahead and start with the prologue. And you know why I think that the prologue would be great? Because it's Veterans Day, and I hope that everybody has taken time to thank the veterans for the service that they've given to our country. And this is just a great week. Yesterday was the 245th birthday of the Marines. Alan's a former Marine, so thank you for your service, Alan. You rock. And I'm going to curse, so fair warning. But I saw a funny meme from an Army guy, a buddy of mine who's he's an Army vet, and he wrote it was a meme that said the Marines don't know the word quit. The Marines don't know the meaning of the word quit. Of course, the Marines don't know the meaning of a lot of words, but they do know all 450 iterations of the word of the F word. So I didn't want to cuss after all, because there might be kids listening. So anyway, that's the deal. So let's go ahead and start by J.T. Geisinger. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, because I pronounced your name in the credits. I just did a book for JT, And holy cow! Well, actually, this is a I don't even know what I can say about this because it's still in the production. But holy hell, that's a great book. But anyway, we can talk about that another time. But I need to get back on track. Did you know that I have ADD? I think I've probably mentioned that before. But welcome to my world. Like every time I do a Facebook Live, it's like a little journey into the brain that is Troy. So sorry and welcome to my world. All right, so let's get busy. I'm going to share screen with oh yeah, I'm already sharing the screen. So I'm going to do that, and we're going to let's go to the prologue, okay? Because it's going to be a great way to celebrate Veterans Day at the same time that we're getting a kickstart on this brand new book, which is awesome. Great cover, by the way, DL. I think I might have mentioned that, but it really is a pretty cover. Okay, so go on. I don't know if DL wants me to. Of course, I'll be happy to do this beautiful quote from Song of Songs. That's Solomon, right? I'm a terrible lapsed Catholic, but I think that's King Solomon wrote the Song of Songs, I believe. I'm not positive, but so there's that, and then we have Bob Dylan. I think if I can't read the whole thing, I need to zoom in a little bit. But so no, I won't do my Bob Dylan impersonation because it's not that good. But so here we go, part one, the official launch of the book All I Ever Needed by D.L. Lane. So I am going to take me out of this equation so that I can see the print better and try to do that. There we go. And you'll understand how this goes on, how this ties into the story once we get to the meat of the prologue. Here we go. First reading of All I Ever Needed by D.L. Lane. United States Navy SEAL. In times of war or uncertainty, there is a special breed of warrior ready to answer our nation's call. A common man with uncommon desire to succeed. Forged by adversity, he stands alongside America's finest special operations forces to serve his country, the American people, and protect their way of life. I am that man. My trident is a symbol of honor and heritage, bestowed upon me by the heroes that have gone before. It embodies the trust of those I have sworn to protect. By wearing the trident, I accept the responsibility of my chosen profession and way of life. It is a privilege that I must earn every day. My loyalty to country and team is beyond reproach. I humbly serve as a guardian to my fellow Americans, always ready to defend those who are unable to defend themselves. I do not advertise the nature of my work, nor seek recognition for my actions. I voluntarily accept the inherent hazards of my profession, placing the welfare and security of others before my own. I serve with honor on and off the battlefield. The ability to control my emotions and my actions, regardless of circumstances, sets me apart from other men. Uncompromising integrity is my standard. My character and honor are steadfast. My word is my bond. We expect to lead and be led. In the absence of orders, I will take charge, lead my teammates, and accomplish the mission. I lead by example in all situations. I will never quit. I persevere and thrive on adversity. My nation expects me to be physically harder and mentally stronger than my enemies. If knocked down, I will get back up every time. I will draw on every remaining ounce of strength to protect my teammates and to accomplish our mission. I am never out of the fight. We demand discipline. We expect innovation. The lives of my teammates and the success of our mission depend on me, my technical skill, tactical proficiency, and attention to detail. My training is never complete. We train for war and fight to win. I stand ready to bring the full spectrum of combat power to bear in order to achieve my mission and the goals established by my country. The execution of my duties will be swift and violent when required, yet guided by the very principles that I serve to defend. Brave men have fought and died, building the proud tradition and feared reputation that I am bound to uphold. In the worst of conditions, the legacy of my teammates steadies my resolve and silently guides my every deed. I will not fail. Lieutenant Kane? Hands fisted inside the pockets of his hoodie, Cooper remained silent as he stared at the framed ethos in front of him. The overcast shades of gloom beaming from the window into the room. Lieutenant? Tap, 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 tap. The rhythmic sound of pen hitting notepad was really irritating on more than one level. But the thing ran through Cooper's thoughts every time the man started in with his tapping habit was how different he was. All the rest had been dressed in three-piece suits, in fancy offices decorated with modern art and avant-garde sculptures, and used their computers and their ornate desks as barriers. This guy dressed like Mr. Rogers. His office had a ficus, a fireplace, and a folded flag encased in a triangle of walnut and glass. His space reminded Cooper of a den in someone's home, the complete opposite of the ultra-professional environments of the others. And he was the sit-across-from-you old school, with his lie-back on the couch and give-me-your-story type. "Are you still with me?" Without moving from his spot, Cooper murmured, "I'm with you." "Tell me," the psychologist said, the squeaky spring of his chair saying the tenacious man was finally giving up and leaning back. "This is our last session together, and you're going to miss me." He wasn't asking a question, but being prickly. "Yes, actually," the doctor said, as usual letting Cooper's attitude roll off him as if he never noticed. "But that's not what I was going to say." "You've never been one to hold back, so don't start now." "It's been months, and I'm curious." "Isn't curiosity part of your job description, Doc?" The man chuckled. "I suppose it is, but this question is completely off the record." "All right. What are you thinking when you stand there as still as a statue? I assume reading that." Pulling the hoodie of his sweater shirt up to cover his head, shadowing his face, Cooper slowly turned, meeting Dr. Parsons' hawkish, coffee-brown gaze. "When you look at me, what do you see?" Brow furrowed, the man with the curly silver hair pursed his lips. "Come on, Doc. What do you see, besides what's glaringly obvious?" "Pain? Loss? Sorrow? Someone whose perceived identity has been taken from them. I see struggle, anger. But I also see someone who, besides attempting to hide the exterior, has erected steel-enforced walls around himself in an attempt to keep everyone from getting too close." Cooper remained silent, his emotions and expressions on lockdown. "I see a man who has sacrificed and given much to his country. A hero." In a signature move, the doctor pinched his chin, deepening the cleft there. "The question is, what do you see?" "You already know." "Indulge me." Cooper glanced up at the clock on the wall. Looks like our time is up, and I've never been one for goodbyes. He turned and went to the door, pausing when he heard, "Before you go, make an old man happy." How would I do that? By answering my question. I haven't answered many of them. Which question are you referring to, Doc? What are you thinking when you look at that creed? In the last 6 months, Cooper hadn't given the man much, and he figured the least he could do was toss him a parting gift. Reaching, he turned the knob, unable to ignore the marred flesh of his fingers. It's only one thing, and it's simple, really. And what's that? I failed. Without another word, Cooper stepped out, leaving Dr. Parsons' office and the world behind. All right. So there's that. I'm sorry I don't know if you wanted to watch me read that, but I couldn't read it. It was too small on the screen, probably because I have old eyes. So I hope you guys were able to hear that okay. What do you guys think of the prologue? Hoping we're still on. Am I still? Okay, so Alan's going to pre-order a copy. Ching ching. Wasn't that a great scene? I love that. So basically we're talking about a guy who's come back from war, and he's an ex-Navy SEAL, and he has a whole lot to unpack in his life. He's all of his life has led him to this point where he paid a really high price to serve his country, and it I don't know. I mean, you can't really you can't understand what people go through when they go through situations like that, and it's I don't know. I mean, you just can't really put yourself in somebody's shoes who's been through something like that if you haven't been through something similar. So anyway, I just hope I do it justice, and that's the start of the book. All I Ever Needed by D.L. Lane. So I wish, DL, I wish that I could have you on, because I'd love to ask you some questions. Maybe when we get about halfway through, we can get together again on another live and talk more about the book, because it's, I don't know. I always wonder to myself, like it's easy for me because all I have to do is read the words, but I wonder where you get the ideas for these great stories, and how long it takes you to go through these different scenes, because they're pretty dramatic and powerful. But that was it's always a blast to read them. So thank you, DL. I appreciate the kind words, and yes, Julie, that the Creed is amazing. I think that it's I don't know, for somebody to get through that buds training for the SEALs, and then go out into the theater and put themselves in life and death situations, put themselves in harm, and conduct themselves with such I don't know, poise. I mean, you put yourself in a situation, that any one of these guys put themselves into, and you think to yourself, gosh, I don't know. I mean, how would I handle myself if I was in the same situation? But these guys do it every day. I mean, and they do it for a living. So my son is in military school, and he's got a few months in. He just passed what they call the crucible, where they get the cadets up for at about 3:45, and they spend about 45 minutes training and doing PT and running and getting loosened up. Then they spend the entire day marching and doing obstacle courses and things like that. Just imagine if it was like, like those Tough Mudders and the Spartan races. It's like that, only except if the people who run the Tough Mudder hate you and they really want you to be in pain. But my boy went through that, and he said it was the hardest thing he ever did. But I really enjoyed. I've enjoyed watching him evolve from a kid into a fine young man, and but the discipline that it takes to to make to make the step from regular person to full core cadet is it's not a small thing. So yeah, just like Alan said, it's like the Spartan race of the Tough Mudder on steroids. So well, listen, I think that's all I've got for you. I promised you a short live. I wanted to get started on the book and kind of bring you along with me on the launch, so that way, as we go along, I'll try to give you updates as I go along in this book, and give you updates on where I am and what I'm doing. But I think that it's going to be a great adventure. And when I finish on the other side, I don't know how long it's going to take. It's about a 11-hour book, so it'll take a little while to produce and to get mastered and everything. But we'll definitely let you know when it does, and that when it goes on for sale. So, Alan, thank you so much for coming in and hanging out and hanging with us, and everybody else. Cookie, Julie, you guys made my day. Brooklyn, I can't believe that I saw you in here, and JT. Oh man, I can't wait until we need to talk about it. We need to talk about uh, Beautifully Cruel, because that's gonna be a really good book when we finally get that underway, or I should say produced. So anyway, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hang out and just kind of like hang out on my page, and maybe I'll go to DL's page in the Getaway, in her group, the Getaway, and we'll hang out, we'll chat, and talk in the comments section. Okay, but thanks for hanging out. So cool to spend time with you, and cheers. Here's to a great book. Take care, guys.